paranormal. It surrounds us. It's everywhere. Tonight, you will hear from the people who live and work within these highly active locations, all in the efforts to discover America's most haunted. With your host, ghost hunter and author, Dan Terry.
Good evening, boys and ghouls. I am Dan Terry, your ghost host with the most haunted. And kind of go back to the Midwest this time. We're going back into Kansas. And you guys know, and I've talked to many of you before, I've worked with a lot of teams out of Kansas. They were they was inviting me all the time. In fact, Road Trip Paranormal is still calling me, wanting me to come down to Dodge City with them. And Kansas Paranormal Research Society, I've worked with them so many times. Well, this is another group, and I just recently met them, and I look forward to getting to know them a lot better. They began as a team of co-workers who just shared a real love of the supernatural, a fascination for the paranormal. That was called That's the Spirit. I gotta say, I like that. But it evolved, and now it's a larger team. It's more professional. They are going all over the Midwest, and now they are known as Drop Dead Paranormal. And I managed to get two of the members to come in and talk to us today, so I want to introduce you to Heather and Carissa, Drop Dead Paranormal out of Kansas. I do like the name. God, I think I kind of like the first one better, though.
I know, it was hard to part with the first one, but we needed something to set us apart.
Well, both names set you apart really well.
Thank you.
I mean, it did not have the word society or anything like that on it, so both names were doing well. You guys started up, Heather, was Carissa with you in the beginning?
Yeah, so when it started as That's the Spirit, it was just within our workplace. I was in the department I was in. I was constantly bugging them to come ghost hunting with me. And it eventually got to the point where they're like, Heather, we don't want to do that anymore. So I was like, I know there are other people out there somewhere, but it's just not part of the conversation you just bring up to anybody. Most people look at you like you're crazy whenever you say, hey, you want to go ghost hunting? So I started a little, it's called an ERG, employee run group within our workplace called That's the Spirit. And it started to grow a following within our workplace. I think we're up to like 90 some members now within that. But I set up a little adventure to go on during the workday over to the Topeka hospital grounds. And Carissa was one of those that took a leap and was like, I'm going to go. I don't know anybody over there, but I'm just going to go. And the rest is history.
Carissa, what made you decide I'm going to go ghost hunting with these people? I know I work with them, but other than that, I don't know them that well.
Honestly, I hadn't met any of them.
Okay.
I'm very introverted. It was very difficult, but it's what you said. I took a leap, and I was just really that interested. I've always been interested in all things spiritual and near-death experiences and things like that. So I gave myself a pep talk and showed up.
What happened on that first one that got you to come back?
Really, it was Heather and the girls who went. Everyone was super nice, which for my introverted heart, I just needed to be able to feel some little bit of a connection, and it was really fun, and it's part of our history now. So God, I'm so glad I went.
And how many, Heather, of that original group stuck with you?
So right now, as far as like with what split off into Drop Dead Paranormal, I've got 3.
Okay. And how many from that original group where Carissa went in actually come back for part of the other one?
Well, so we've got a lot of regulars that are within like That's the Spirit, because we run little events within. So Drop Dead basically hosts these events for That's the Spirit. And so we've got a lot of repeat people that will come to these events that we do, which makes it a lot of fun.
Let's talk about the events then. What are you doing this as a charity? Are you doing it as a money-making thing, or
nope,
just for the fun?
Yep, just for the fun. We usually ask, most places have, up to 10 people or so. So I'll create a sign up for it. People sign up within the group, and then we'll collect enough to pay for the location, or maybe a little extra to pay for pizza or something fun, to bring while we're there. But yep, we're just going for fun.
All right. Carissa, your microphone's muted. Did you do that? There you go.
I was worried about the sound earlier.
Yeah. Did you figure out what that was?
No, I'm just trying to be proactive.
Friends, there was the sound of someone dragging a body across a wood floor. And
it was not in my house.
Both of these two said it wasn't them. I believe it because they were as shocked as I was when it started. But so do either of you have ghosts that's followed you home?
Go ahead, Carissa.
I can't admit this on camera. I don't think so.
I have seen some weird things at my house. It's nothing that happens regularly, but just little things here and there that I'm like, you got to go back. You can't stay here. You're not welcome here. My husband will kill me. You're not welcome here. That's what he told me, which I'm sure many other spouses have told, their spouse when they go ghost hunting. You can go, just don't bring anything back. I'm like, well, I can tell them, but if they like me, they might just follow, and we can't control that, babe.
It happens, yeah. Actually, I've had a couple follow me home back from Missouri, so it's not something unusual.
Right. And just because they follow doesn't mean that they're bad. They could just be lonely.
Unfortunately, the house I lived in there had its own ghost, and it was jealous. So any new spirit got thrown out pretty quick.
Love it.
So, okay, let's talk about some of the places you've been to, and I'll start right out with McInteer Village. Like you said, Stephanie has been a guest here already, and she's quite a gal, let me tell you. But what did you all find while you was there?
Well, the villa was actually my first ever ghost hunt when I first started getting into this. I was watching an episode of Ghost Adventures and saw that they went to the Sally house. And so that's kind of where it started. And then I didn't want to pay the price of the Sally house. And then I came across the villa and I was like, it's twice the size. I can take multiple people. It's way more cost efficient. So we all packed up and went there, and I took my mom with me, and we were all so scared. We'd never done anything like that before. We didn't have any equipment. Stephanie was like, well, here, I have a REM pod and a EMF reader if you want to use it. I had no idea what I was doing. But after that, even though I was terrified, I got hooked. So me personally, that was my very first. But I mean, God, how many times have we been since then, Carissa? I feel like at least.
I feel like I've been there at least 5 or 6 times, and it never gets old. The spirits there are just so, I love them. They're so sarcastic, and they will correct you and practically make fun of you. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Carissa, give us a story from the McInteer that you were involved in.
Okay, I'll tell the worst one.
Good start.
So I will never sleep upstairs in the master bedroom again, that one that's in the center of the hall, because I had a nightmare there, and I don't have nightmares like that. I've never had a nightmare before or since, and I just dreamt that I woke up, which I was still dreaming. I didn't know that, so I woke up still in a dream and tried to get my feet under me by the bed. It didn't work, and I just jellied to the floor, and then something grabbed me by the ankles and yanked me down the hall. I woke up.
All right. Heather, do you have any adventures there?
Oh man, a lot.
Yeah.
One that stands out to me that was pretty recent. We were all on the second floor, I feel like that whole house is very active. I mean, and it kind of varies. Like you can have a lot of activity in the attic one night, but then not. It's all spread out.
Okay.
But the second floor seems to be pretty regularly active. We were all standing. Stephanie was actually investigating with us. We were standing there and we heard a very clear whistle. There was no question of, was that a whistle? It was, who did that? Where did that come from? It sounded like it was, right behind us, but it very, very clear, which that to me is pretty rare because usually it's a question of, was that a whistle? Is that what I heard? No, this one was no doubt in my mind. It was a whistle. There's been plenty of footsteps though. I mean, I've been sitting up there on the floor. A couple of us are sitting apart and we would hear what sounded like clear footsteps just pacing back and forth between us. There was no doubt in my mind that those were footsteps either. We're looking at each other like, what in the world is going on? So we get the best tripwire activity there too. And I mean, it's
rod
just
communication, dowsing rods.
Oh yeah.
Long conversation, super on point.
Okay. How many people were there with you aside from Stephanie?
At that time, I think there was only
3 or 4.
Yep. Yeah. So not very much, but we've even had, other events and stuff with That's the Spirit where we've had 10 plus people. So, and it doesn't seem to, it's not that we get more activity with less. It kind of goes both ways. We've had a lot of good activity too. While there's multiple people there, we usually split up between a couple floors. So that way we don't get too much noise interaction or, interference, and works out great.
You sent a video it looked like a courtroom. Was that a courtroom you was in?
Yeah, that was at the Wabaunsee County Courthouse in Alma.
Okay. What did you get there, aside from what's on the video, which we'll show in a moment?
Krista, does anything stand out to you?
The Estes session in the courthouse, there's some things from it that we can't discuss because it was very particular to someone from the courthouse who was with us. But Heather was under for the Estes session, and some information came through that was really hard hitting, kind of shocking for some of the individuals there. And you know how it is during Estes for like Heather, she takes them off like, hey, did any of that make sense? And like, oh my God, did it make sense? And sometimes, we've been on lots of different investigations where we can't disclose certain things. And this is one of them. And I wish we could, but yeah, so lots of tripwire activity there, lots of orbs. Mindy, our other member, has acquired a lot of, good camera equipment. So we've been able to document a lot, which has been amazing. So, yeah.
Okay. Have you all done or been to yet the Oz Museum or the Columbia Theater? I can't remember the name of the town. I want to say Wamego.
I've heard of the Oz Museum, not the other one though.
It's in the same town. And they used to do a lot of ghost events together. And they got me to come down and help a couple of times. We had an incident at the basement of the Columbia Theater, which at one time was a funeral parlor. And this guy who had been with me all night, trying to use the rods, trying to contact someone, they wouldn't come through. He was at the point he was saying I was lying. And then the questions got to the point where he thought, hey, can I start? I think that's the person he was wanting. Gave this guy the rods. He started talking. And then, and this is a big, huge biker guy. Then when he got shy, I said, you don't have to ask the questions, just think the questions. And now I've got this guy in a fetal position crying on the floor in front of about 15 people. Because like you said, something came through that, and he told me what it was. His friend had died on a motorcycle accident, and he asked if he was there with his father, the man's father. And when he got a yes, he broke down. But have you found that happening now, that as you do this more, like in the case you discussed, somebody come through with a personal message or story?
Yes. Actually, too, that makes me think we just got done investigating the Beatty Mansion this weekend. And I had Sean and Natalie from ICT Paranormal. They came with us, and I was doing Estes, and his grandma actually came through. Her name was May, and the things that they had asked had connected, and then I said his name right after, and then it kind of shook him up a little too, and we put him under Estes, and I told his grandma, I said, May, if you're still there, can you tell Sean hello? And then there was a couple things in between, and then all of a sudden he says, sounded like an older woman said hello. I was like, there she is.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
It is. And I've had more than one person that just fell apart on me because that's what happened. So I'm sure you'll see that soon enough too.
Yeah. One thing, back to the courthouse really fast, just a little funny moment that stands out to me during an Estes. When we were there this last time, I was sitting on we were on the 3rd floor, because the 4th floor is still an active jail, so we can't go up that far. But I'm sitting on the stairs there where they would, they would take people up the elevator, and then you take them up those stairs. So it's got a lot of energy to begin with. But I kept feeling like somebody was standing right behind me. And I took off my headphones for a second, turned around. I said, if you're going to stand there behind me, at least say something. And I put my headphones back on, and then I hear my bad.
Wow.
I was like, well, there we go.
So can you set up this video we got of the orb? Yeah,
we were all in the courtroom, and I don't think was I under?
You were under Estes.
Okay, at that time. So I was under Estes, sitting at in the defendant chair. Which side is that? Okay, in the defendant chair, and got the camera facing away from me, or one of the cameras, and that's when that little orb decides to peek up and go across.
Okay. And as it went by the tripwire, which is an EMF detector, what happened?
It lights up. It interacts with it, which is wild, because like we were talking about earlier with dust and stuff, you see, and a lot of people are already skeptical about orbs. So the fact that it triggers a piece of equipment is pretty awesome.
That is. And I've seen, I think orbs are more than dust and moisture. Not always. Probably the vast majority is just dust. But when you get one that interacts, or one that, and I've had them interact with the K2 and such, there's more to them than this.
Definitely.
All right, let's check this one out.
A judge. I literally just put it on.
I want to go sit in the judge's chair. She got a judge.
Do with what we've got. What's up?
Yeah, go under.
Okay.
Good? Good.
Yeah, good.
Here she goes. She did get do with what you got. Where's the bell?
Now, to me, that's some pretty cool evidence.
Definitely. Yeah, we saw that. And as soon as it lit up the tripwire, we're like, oh, okay. That wasn't just dust. We saw another orb go straight up, but you can't really, like you said, dust or orb, you can't really tell. But especially when they changed direction like that, how it went across and then it went back.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild.
And going both ways means it's not on an air current.
Right.
So it's moving where it wants to, which means there's intelligence behind it. But the fact that it set off the meter was just amazing. Let me play that one more time. So at one point you see it shoot up, and then a little later on you see it shoot up a second time. And then it comes out from under the desk you were sitting at?
Comes out from underneath the bench on the
bench.
left-hand side. Yeah, kind of where that red circle is kind of the
Mhm.
area that you'll see it come up.
Okay. All right. Let's watch that again.
What's the matter? My skin right there got caught between.
You're gonna tell me you hurt your
Oh
cyst
no.
thing.
A judge. This I literally just
Shut
put it
up.
on.
I wanna go sit in the judge's chair. She got a judge.
See if I can get a little louder here. Do with what we've got. She put nothing.
Yeah, go under, go under.
Okay.
Good? Good.
Yeah, good.
Here she goes. She did get do with what you got. What? Where's the bell?
There's a lot going on in there at that moment.
Yeah, definitely.
So there was an orb that leaped up almost exactly the same way earlier in the video, and then this one. And yeah, that's just pretty cool. Somebody's got some interference on their end. You hear it? There, now it's gone. Okay. All right. So that jailhouse, what else happened in there?
Oh, let's see. Well, so let me tell you some of the stories that they have personally witnessed, which is why they were totally fine with us coming in and investigating. They've seen one of the officers there saw a man in the restroom from, I think, about waist up, if I remember correctly. And he was in like time period clothing. He said that he pushed open the door and saw it and froze, and then the door came back and shut because it was on like a, rotating or whatever you want to call it door. And when it shut, he opened it up again really quick and he was gone.
Okay.
That same officer has seen figures out in the yard. He said dressed in time period clothing, looking like they were like dancing, which is pretty cool because he said that they used to have like parties and that kind of thing out in the grounds there. There is also an inmate who passed away there that has been seen, and he was caught on camera walking through bars.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were all really excited because of course they were like, well, if we didn't have anybody in the jail, we could probably let you up there. But the couple times we've been, they've unfortunately had some people up there, so we haven't been able to. But he's said to frequent up there often and move things around and that kind of stuff. So real fun. But they've also heard like music playing, and this is a span of, I don't know how many years, because one of the guys that was telling us these stories, I think it was his dad had also worked there for, a number of years. And some of these stories came from him. So it's a lot has happened at that particular location, which to be expected. It's very old.
Yeah. I am, excuse me. I've ghost hunted in Wamego. There's another town. I cannot remember its name, but Topeka, Wichita, right there on the river, Leavenworth. And there was another town on the river. You all are there, road trip paranormal, Kansas paranormal research. Why is Kansas this crazy?
I mean, Kansas has a lot of history, just between, everything that happened with like, God, my mind goes to like John Brown and, the Underground Railroad. And there's just so much between like, I think of like Lawrence is super active too, which we haven't really had a chance to make it. We're close to, so shame on us for not getting over there quicker. But we go to Garnett frequently, and that was part of the Underground Railroad. There was a tunnel down there. It's like the central hub of so much, which right in the middle makes sense.
Carissa, do you have any other ideas about it?
Honestly, I think the Wild Wild West days just created a lot. One of our regular places is Garnett, Kansas, and there's a lot of rumored to be of passer-throughs, including Wild Bill Hickok and Jesse James, and all of these individuals that come through, along with it was built in 1858. So that gives a good span of time for the spirits to decide where they are going to hang out, I guess.
Okay. Have you guys made it to Dodge City or some of those places yet?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. You've got a lot of state there yet to cover, but
Oh, yeah.
you did do some stuff in Iowa also. What'd you do there?
Well, not yet. We are set to go. Oh my God, I get them all mixed up between, because we're set to go to Ashmore and Malvern. I can't remember which one's in Iowa. Now that I'm thinking about it, one's in Illinois, one's in Iowa.
Okay.
Iowa, Malvern. Malvern's in
I was
Iowa.
going to say that has to be Malvern.
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard of it, and I've had people come on here and talk about it. I've never been there, so.
Yeah, we've never been there either, but we went to a paranormal duo event between Sleeper Mortuary and the McInteer Villa. Mm-hmm. And Josh Hurd, one of the owners of Malvern, was at Sleeper. So we got to meet him there, which he's amazing. And and I've heard Tori, the owner from Sleeper, talk about it constantly and, continue to hear good things. So we're like, you know what? It's going on the list for 2026. We're getting it booked.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, I'm going to have to drop off for just a second for a commercial. Would you all wait? And I'll be right back in a moment. Friends, God, Kansas is amazing. It's like West Virginia. It's like every place has its ghosts. Probably more per square inch than any place I've ever heard of. And I've been very lucky that so many good ghost hunting groups have invited me along with them out of Kansas. They're all such wonderful people down there. And well, let's talk about some other wonderful people. Let me introduce you to these folks.
The new book, How to Research a Haunted House by paranormal investigator Margie Kay and professional researcher Violet Wisdom, is now available from Unex Media. This one-of-a-kind book explains how to do research on a house with uncommon methods and resources used by historic home researchers, and how to determine who may be doing the haunting and why. How to research a haunted house can be used by homeowners, renters, investors, and it should be in the library of all professional paranormal investigators. Get this unique book at unexmedia.com or amazon.com. That's unexmedia.com or amazon.com. The Unex Network presents a health and wellness spiritually based brand of hemp-derived CBD products made by Hopewell Farm in Harrogate, Tennessee. We apply our Cathara energy work with all of our plants and products. Our products made in small batches with only 2 ingredients of pure hemp, full spectrum crude oil, and coconut-derived MCT oil. Third-party lab tested for potency and legal THC levels with 6 strengths of 1 ounce oil to choose from. Know what you're buying and get what you pay for from Hopewell Farm. Applied directly to a specific area, Hopewell Farm topical salve in 1 ounce and ½ ounce sizes, made with pure hemp crude oil, comfrey extract, and all natural ingredients. Find the Hopewell Farm link and coupon code on the Unex Network website at unexnetwork.com. That's unexnetwork.com.
All right, friends, I'll talk at the end more about joining the Unex Network, and there's, I'm going to have to get used to this. Now we're calling it the Unexplained Network, but it's just had its 4th year anniversary, and we did change the name because the Unex was just a little confusing for non-paranormal people, but we got the Unexplained Network. So many shows, and we're going to talk more about that towards the end. But right now, I want to get back to Kansas because, well, got a little in common with these ladies in that I have done a lot in that state. So let's get back to some of the other evidence you've got. The Garnett Whisper. What can you set that up for us?
Yeah. So we pop over there once a month. And we help the owner, Justin, keep the place spick and span. Okay. So we were over there cleaning one day and had the recorder going. And there was a whisper that came through. It almost sounded like somebody clearing their throat.
Okay.
And then right after, we had a necrometer on, and necrometer said next to it, which at the time we were like, next to what? But then listening back to it, we're like, it was probably right next to the recorder. Makes sense.
Okay. All right, let's play that one. Now, what is Garnett before I do that?
The Garnett House Hotel, 1858 Garnett House Hotel.
Okay.
It's been there a long time, lots of history. It was a residential home when it was first built. It was a hotel, obviously, at some point in time. It was a jail. It was a doctor's office. It's seen a lot. Photography studio. It has a lot of history and a nice little spirit there. I say nice in quotes. A nice little spirit there named the Grinner, who is very popular talk amongst paranormal folk who have been. He's a scary looking spirit that has been seen a few times. Really tall, has a big smiley grin, likes to scare people. So it's lots of fun.
All right, let's check that out.
I selected the order. Yeah. Next to it.
Next to what?
Okay, we'll play that again. It's right towards the end. It says next to it. Are you hearing it as a child's voice?
It doesn't sound like a child. It's actually right. You'll hear it right before necrometer says next to it. So it's more like kind of right in the middle. You'll hear a little sound.
I heard that.
Yep.
Okay.
I selected the order. Yeah. Next to it.
Next to what?
In fact, I was going to ask, did one of you all sigh, or was that an EVP? But
Yep, that's the EVP. Right in between there was the sounds like somebody, to me, it sounds like somebody's trying to clear their throat, or I don't know, making a weird, whispery sound next to it. And then just even more validating that next to it comes through necrometer after. We're like, I don't know what that means, but now we do.
what else has happened there? You say you've been there several times.
So a big thing that stands out to me is I saw a full-bodied apparition there, or I should say maybe more so shadow figure, because it didn't really have any characteristics or distinctions to it. He was just a black shadow.
Okay.
I was standing kind of back in we call it the back corner room. Makes a lot of sense, right? It's in the back corner of the house, but kind of looking back and forth between two of the rooms. There's one in the middle here, and there's a staircase that comes up that's got a little hallway. And so all the rooms are kind of a Jack and Jill style along the side of the house. And I was looking back and forth between two rooms. We had a REM pod set up in one. And I look back in the other room, and I should see cabinets, which I was constantly seeing as I would, look back toward it. I realized that I couldn't see in the middle of the cabinets anymore, but I could see on the outside of the cabinet, which if my eyes were adjusting, right, the whole thing would be kind of fuzzy, or should be. And then it clicks in my brain, somebody's standing right there. And that's what I said out loud. I was like, I just froze. My whole body froze. I'm like, there's somebody standing right there. And it's like the minute I said that, all of a sudden the middle of the cabinet came into focus again. It wasn't dark anymore, and I could see the whole thing.
Okay. Chris, have you had any experiences there?
Have seen a lot of shadow movement. I haven't seen the actual figure, but upstairs is pretty active. I mean, the whole house is, but upstairs especially. And, that's where a lot of times we'll sit down and do Estes. We'll always have REM pods, cat balls, tripwire, whatever we have with us just set up. And it just gets so active up there at some points. Of course, nothing's ever 100% active all of the time, but when it gets going up there, when the spirits are ready to interact with you, it's kind of nonstop, and you have to really pay attention. But you will just see things shooting across, especially baseboards. Sometimes you see it go up a wall, but it's always exciting when it happens. we don't get scared anymore.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get you that one. All right. You sent me one with a help me, which that I don't want to say it creeps. It's creepy. It's more heartbreaking when they say that.
Mhm.
What are we looking at? What was the story behind this one?
So that was caught at I'm going to say an undisclosed location. They wished not to be disclosed, but
Okay.
it was local. We went in, and it's a very small building, but we were on the opposite end from where we left the recorder. We basically left it down a hallway, at the very end. We were up at the front in the room there, and Carissa was under Estes, and we all of a sudden caught the help me.
Okay. All right. Well, let's play that one and see what it sounds like.
Is it Bradley that's still talking to us, or is it somebody new?
Sound like a guy with dia, like for day in Spanish, dia, lightning,
Are you talking to
in charge of.
Carissa speaks Spanish. Go ahead and talk in Spanish all you want, but slowly.
Every. I've heard the same voice say, this is that, and then I missed the word, and then it said helpful.
All right. So right at the end, it says "help me" in a raspy kind of voice. Do you have any clue who that could have been? Is there a history of this area?
Well, we left it in the room that we left it in. We suspect, and a couple others have suspected, it's a portal.
Okay.
Lots of movement coming in and out of that area. And it seems like we've been there a couple times. Seems like whenever we do go investigate, it's like word spreads. I don't know if it's through that portal or nearby, and that just like all of these spirits come in. So I don't think it's anyone that is necessarily attached to that building.
Okay.
I do think it was maybe a spirit passing through more so.
Okay. All right, let's play that one again. And my friends, at the end, you'll hear the help me. It's raspy, but it's plain to hear.
Is it Bradley that's still talking to us, or is it somebody new?
Sound like a guy with dia, like for day in Spanish, dia, lightning,
Are you talking to
in charge of.
Carissa speaks Spanish. Go ahead and talk in Spanish all you want, but slowly.
Every. I've heard the same voice say, this is that, and then I missed the word, and then it said helpful.
That sounds feminine, like a woman's voice to me.
Yeah, I agree. Gives me chills every time, because that help could almost, you could be like, what is, but then the me afterward is very distinct.
Yeah. Yes, it is. But the second or third time I hear it, I'm hearing help plainly. That's what she is saying. Yeah.
Definitely.
There was a hotel, and I'm upset with myself. I cannot remember the name of it right now, or the town it was in. It was one of those cable shows that does like a most haunted thing, but live ghost hunts. And what it was is they had screens on. They had places all over the world, and you could pick which one, and they would do like an hour in each place. And I was in Kansas on that one. My friends at Ghost Tours of Kansas asked me to come down and help with that. And this place was just incredible. I'm going to get you the name. I've got such K2 action, black mists, those cameras that have the lined green lines representing the ghosts. One of them was trying to hit me. It was just an amazing place. So we need to get that on your itinerary.
Yeah, definitely.
So I got to ask, do you have mostly women on your tour or on your team?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
we do have all women.
I have interviewed multiple groups of teams that have all women, and almost all of them have said that television and the shows, the networks, however you want to say it, somewhat discriminates against women teams. Would you agree with that? In that all women teams don't get TV shows, it's always all men or predominantly men.
Yeah, I don't know if I wish that there was more all women. There are a lot of like really prominent women in the paranormal. But you're right, they kind of have a mixture of, there's a couple guys in there, but it's never all female, which I wonder, has anybody, I mean, I would think probably somebody's brought it up by now, right? Or tried to come forward with an all women group, trying to get a TV show, and maybe they were, discriminated upon, turned down. I'm not 100% sure, but I would like to see more.
Well, the groups I've talked to seem to believe that there is something going on because it's been my notice in the last 2 years. Like I said, we've been doing this now for going into 4 years. There are more all women groups than there are all men groups. And yet it's the all men groups that get TV shows. Mm-hmm. Or predominantly men, even if there's one. I think Ghost Hunters had 2 on there at one time, and then another one, and one left. They always had a minority role in it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, you look back on it though too. You didn't used to have really any women in those shows, and so now I think it's kind of progressing more toward. So maybe here soon we'll see an all women team, that'll come in. I'm hopeful for it.
Carissa, you have an opinion on that?
I do. Even on our events, it's predominantly females. Even, whether we're having a sign up and it's the folks from work that's signing up to come along with us, we do have a couple of guys, but it is absolutely predominantly women. And I think most of the teams that we've investigated with, they're predominantly women. I mean, or sometimes a man and wife team, but
yeah. But it never shows that on the TV shows. Generally, it's just 2 or 3 men, and then the woman is basically there to provide history and such as that.
Now, YouTube, though, might be a little bit a different case. I feel like there are more women on that are popular on YouTube and have channels out ghost hunting. So maybe that'll eventually trickle into actual TV.
What else have you found? I've been ghost hunting since I started in '79. And back then, very few of us used dowsing rods. We'd go in with a recorder and a camera, and that was it. I've seen big changes. Have you seen changes in the time that you've been doing it?
I've definitely seen a lot of, when we're talking about equipment, I've definitely seen a lot of progress with that, which is fun, to try out new things and see if one of the newest, I say, because I don't know when it came out, but I feel like it's rather recent, is the dead bell. That one hasn't, I don't feel like been out for very long, but it's probably one of my favorite pieces of equipment to use. Gets a lot of interaction. It's a lot of fun. I think spirits like it too.
Let me start with Carissa. What is on your bucket list? What's a place you're just dying to get to?
Estes, Colorado.
Of course.
This hotel. That's one of my main ones. But honestly, my favorite everything is all the local hunts. I love them. So.
All right. I know there's a lot of folks that use Alcatraz or the Lent Mansion or New York, something in New York or something to that effect. Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. But you're more thinking locally then.
I do. I love going to all the places we go. But when you step into Garnett, McInteer, a lot of people have been there. The spirits are used to people coming through.
Yes.
There's a place that we visited locally here. It's a place where people go to play Dungeons and Dragons. We were the among the first to be able to investigate. And the entire sense of the spirits, when we came in, they started in with us before we even were set up. And the messages coming through, it's like, you're here for us. You're here for us. And so it was amazing. And then the undisclosed location that Heather was speaking of, we've been there several times, always super active. The spirits are happy we're there. They're ready to interact. And it's a completely different feeling from trying to bribe, the resident.
Trying to coax them to do something.
Yes.
Heather, what's the ones on your bucket list?
I would really like to go to Waverly.
Okay.
Heard lots of good things about that place, obviously, and it's ginormous. But a kind of diving into like haunted objects, particularly to go see, because I'm a big doll fan. To a certain
extent. I hate those things. God, I hate those things.
To a certain extent. I don't go crazy with collecting, but I do find them fascinating. So I would love to go visit Robert in
down in Florida. In the Keys.
Yep, I would love to. We actually went on a work trip to Fort Lauderdale not too long ago, and I was Googling and mapping out. I'm like, can I get there? Like, how long does it take? Oh God, it's 4 hours. Can I rent a car and go down there? Can we just hop on a plane really fast? It's only an hour and a half to get down there via plane. So I was trying to do everything I could, but my husband's like, no.
St. Augustine. There's so much in Florida too.
Yeah, we were kind of looking because we were only there for a couple of days, but we were researching places that were kind of close in our vicinity, to our hotel that we could go visit that were reportedly haunted. So even on a little work trip, we were like, where can we go to investigate?
What about in Kansas? Is there any place, Carissa, that you're really wanting to get to specifically? You haven't been there yet.
So we did a tour there for an hour, but I really do want to go ahead and go back to Sally House. We did the 1 hour tour, but we haven't stayed the night. And I want to go ahead and just check that off the list.
Okay. All right. And Heather, any place particular there in Kansas?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Just popping over to the Sally House to, say that we investigated, see what we can't find, because people have had a lot of good experiences there. So I'd say probably that one.
Okay. I'll have to get you the name of that hotel and send it to you. It bothered me. I can't remember it, but it was an Old West style hotel. The owners at that time sold it. And now whoever owns it, I think, are trying to get away from that. They called it a boutique. But yeah, it's just an incredible place.
Awesome. Yeah.
And you guys are there not that far from Dodge City, Wichita. I got to be on the first group that did the airport there in Wichita. We were actually getting 1940s voices coming over the loudspeakers. Very low, but we could hear them, and they were announcing planes. You could hear crowds. It was incredible there.
Oh, wow.
There's so much in your state to hit, and you've already hit some, but there's so much
we got
there.
For new ones. We're making our 2026 list, so I've got a few books that we're like, where else do we want to go?
Now, was there other things that you all do for, like you said you help out cleaning up this old hotel?
Yeah. So we volunteer our time over at the Garnett House to help Justin. Fun fact about him is he was actually he was with Ghost Adventures for a brief period of time. He was their tech guy, so that was pretty cool. When I first met him, I'm like, "What, in Garnett, Kansas? Like, what are you doing here?" But he actually grew up not too far away in Chanute, so it makes sense. He's got family, but. Yeah, we go over there and help him kind of keep things up and going. One thing I put in there that I sent over to you was we went to the Topeka Cemetery not too long ago and did some cleanup there. They had a trash pickup. So which I talked with them. I was like, please let us know anytime you need help. So we love doing things like that and really trying to be involved with the community as much as possible too. And even promoting, businesses here in town. We've investigated over at Charlie's thrift shop, not too far from us, which Charlie and his wife are awesome. He buys storage units and, sells those items. And some of the stuff that comes through there is wild. How many people's ashes he's obtained and had to figure out what to do with. It was, we got a lot of really good stuff over there too. And so it's always fun to try to stay local too and help promote those businesses.
Another place I got to do was because I spoke at a lecture there. It was in Midland, Kansas. Mm-hmm. And it was a hotel in that town that was a railroad hotel. And all the doors in this place had screen doors on the inside. You go down the hallway, every room had a screen door.
Even on on the inside?
Yeah, because in the old days, that was where the air come in and out of at night. You could lock your door, but you could still get a breeze. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
But that place had some pretty wild stuff going on. The whole town did, really. I hit 2 other buildings there, and it was pretty crazy. So awesome. a lot to look for in Kansas, that's for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. It seems like every time I really go searching, like something else pops up that I'm like, oh, we should go over there and see what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I will do some more stuff too, because I know there's places I've been that I think you would really enjoy.
Absolutely.
But Heather, Carissa, thank you for being on, but it is time for me to step away. Do me a favor, though. Don't leave the computer, because I want to chat with you a little afterwards, okay?
Sure.
Thanks for being on. And if you guys get another really great investigation, good evidence like this, please let me know. We'll get you all back on here. Maybe get some more of your team on next time.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Right. Thanks, Dan.
All right. You all take care and be loose for just a second, okay?
Okay.
Fun people, fun ghost tour. Guys, like I said, guys, Kansas has just been amazing. I've done so much there. And it's been so much fun when I got to go down there with, like I said, road trip. It started out with Ghost Tours of Kansas, then Kansas Paranormal Research Society. We hitched up in one of those. And then, of course, Road Trip Paranormal, the Oz Museum. They came to one I had there just to talk to me because I'd been in their place before. It was just, there's so much going on in that area. God, it's just a credible place. And if you all get a chance to get down there, Ghost Tours of Kansas, Road Trip Paranormal, they're all doing things. Ghost tours, haunted places, public investigations. Check it out. You're gonna like it. And I do want to talk to you all a little bit about joining the UNX Network. I'll go to, there I said it again, the Unexplained Network. But go to unxnetwork.com. That's the website. And that first page, come down a little bit. It talks about becoming a member. And what do you get out of that? Well, first off, you got access to the blog. Blog just on fire lately. It's been incredible. We were among the first having articles about the Tic Tacs, the weird Tic Tac shaped UFOs. The Navy was coming forward and saying, yes, it's real. It's happening. Winged humanoids, Mothman type, that was seen over the Missouri River. There in western Missouri, eastern Kansas. It was seen in Las Vegas not too long ago. Bigfoot, ghosts, vampires, whatever in the paranormal field. It comes into the blog and you get that for free. You get full access to it. There's a newsletter, and that thing comes out several times a week, sometimes once a day. And what they talk about is what's new in the news, what's going on in history, and then, of course, what's going to be on the UNX Network. What do you get with the UNX Network? Well, you get shows like this. We got Stay Haunted, Most Haunted. We got Michelle out of Iowa who's got a show. A lot of ghost shows. On top of that, UFOs. A lot of shows about UFOs and conspiracy around it, about what do they call getting the information out. Disclosure. There's a lot of shows like that on here. Bigfoot, a lot of Bigfoot stories. We get into conspiracy. So there's a lot of stuff you can find on there. Plus, when you become a member, you get the magazine, which comes up once or every 2 months, sometimes more often. It's got some really great writers in it, but the one on the left there, I've got 2 stories of my own in that one, and one was Legends of Halloween. And specifically, when I talk about the Legends of Halloween, when I was a kid in school, they would tell us that there were blonde-haired, blue-eyed virgin kids getting kidnapped and used in sacrifices of cults. There was always that thing about razor blades in the apples and poison in the candy, metal shards in the candy. Hell, the hospitals were x-raying them free just to check the candy out. And there is just the tiniest kernel of truth in those rumors. And that's what I was talking about. Also, I got to talk about the battleship North Carolina, which is very haunted and is right here in North Carolina where I'm at. I had one on here, Heather was talking about dolls. I did an article on them just because dolls creep me the hell out. Man, I hate dolls. But haunted dolls specifically, and I had an article on that one. And then, of course, as I've talked about, you've seen the show, you know I do it a lot. There is a place in Missouri. It was on Old Route 66, and it was called the Old Diamonds, or also Tri-County Truck Stop. And it was really just insanely haunted. It was amazing. So I did several articles on that, both for Haunted Times magazine and the Unex magazine. And then last March, it got hit by a tornado. It was all but destroyed. It's going to be taken down. And I wrote one last article about it for the last couple of investigations we've done there. So there's always something interesting in these magazines. I think you need to check it out. To do that, you become a member. And, well, it's about time for me to step away. But I want to thank Heather and Carissa. They were great. Really like talking to teams like that. Makes me miss hunting more like I used to. I do a little work here with Stokes County. I do it with St. Louis Paranormal whenever I go back to Missouri, but I miss doing it with my group. And so anyway, I enjoy talking to them, and I always enjoy being here with you all. Just remember, friends, that I want you to start to get cold now. Winter's here, so stay warm. And, well, what can I say? Stay spooked. Good night.